Before we begin the program, I want to take a minute to thank the extraordinary and hardworking group of individuals who put this together for us today. So I want to say thank you to the CSAA Executive Board, and especially to Faith Bell, Destiny Rogers, and Xavier Williams. So the CSAA graduating class of 2020 planted the seed for this moment that we're doing right now. And as happens sometimes when seeds are planted, they weren't able to see their seed fully bloom, as we weren't able to meet in person for the ceremony during that year. But what they planted became a sapling, and that sapling became a tree. The next year, we were able to have a ceremony with students, but it was with students and only two of our faculty members, with family and friends joining us remotely. Thankfully, for the past few years, we've been able to have this event in person and online. One of the things that we learned over the years was how to use technology in a way that allowed us to have not only those of you who were able to travel to Athens, thank you for doing that, but also for those of you who were able to join us on Zoom and be a part of this special. So this year, I am thrilled to be here with you all as we celebrate the 5th year of the fitting ceremony for this master's program for our beloved class of 2024 and for their friends and family and supervisors and colleagues and other faculty who are here with them. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what a fitting ceremony is. Some of you may be familiar, but some of you may not. A hood ceremony is an event where members of the faculty honor the graduates by placing a master's hood on them, symbolizing their degree. The shape of the hood represents the master's degree. The blue velvet shows that they have earned a master's in education, and the red and black represents the University of Georgia. A hood is a tangible symbol of a major accomplishment, the graduate degree. We're thankful for this opportunity to celebrate 15 students with this symbol of their achievement. And while the hood signifies an achievement, it does not offer much insight into the journey to that achievement. When this hooding ceremony tradition started, the graduating group asked the then program coordinator to provide some context to help those who are less familiar with this master's program to understand what it is and what it involves. I will continue that discussion tonight briefly. Most people aren't even aware that our field exists or why. And even those who are aware of it may wonder why a degree is necessary to do the work. I hope that I'm offering you a bit of clarity here, but I encourage you to continue conversations with your graduates about the particulars of the work that they've done in this program and the work that they will continue to do beyond it. At the heart of student affairs is a commitment to care and human development. While students arrive at college seeking academic knowledge and credentials, much of their growth occurs beyond the classroom. The art student hones their leadership skills through participation in the Student Government Association, Residence Hall Association, and Greek Life. An engineering student learns to communicate across cultural differences through multicultural student services and programs. And the undeclared student learns about their skills and abilities through involvement and engagement on the college campus. There are also students who are on the campus across majors and across field academic areas that they're looking to study, who live in residence halls, who for the first time are living in close quarters with people that they don't know, and learning how to navigate that living situation, learning how to manage conflict, learning how to acquire skills, and sometimes learning accountability. They make mistakes, they seek help, and they undergo a multitude of transformative experiences, often with the guidance of a student affairs professional. Student affairs professionals, 15 of whom we celebrate today, must have a robust set of skills and knowledge to support these students. They not only nurture their learning and development, but they also do this while navigating complex organizational landscapes of higher education, among a multi-generational group of students and also in a multi-generational workforce. So they take a lot of classes in their time when you're here with us, and they learn some skills and they gain more knowledge. They take classes in interpersonal and helping skills, group dynamics, developmental and environmental theories, history, research, assessment, administration, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and even legal issues, and even ideas beyond that. Mastery involves more than what can be learned in a textbook, a well-developed lecture, or a beloved group project, which they've had many. They must also hear from experts in the field, and they must also gain hands-on experience. With 60 academic credit hours and over 1,200 hours of practical training through internships, practica, and assistantships, these 15 graduates that we honor tonight have truly earned a master's in education. It has been an incredibly full 2 years, and we, the faculty, and their supervisors, some of whom are with us here in the room and on Zoom, have asked much of them, and they have delivered. So, please join me in a round of applause for our 2024 graduates. I began this discussion, or my talk tonight with you, talking about planting seeds. And tonight, alongside these 15 outstanding individuals, we want to take a brief moment to celebrate a master gardener. After over 18 years of service to our academic program area, and over a decade of which was spent cultivating the program that we are here celebrating tonight, as a coordinator, Dr. Laura Dean will retire from her role as Professor of Counseling and Student Affairs Administration and Student Affairs Leadership. While I know Dr. Dean has been committed to all three of our programs, this program holds a special place in her heart. And likewise, our students also hold a special place in their heart. One of those students would like to share a few words with us, and I welcome you to the stage at this moment.
Thank you, Dr. Voss. Less than 2 years ago, at our program's orientation, our cohort staff worked with the faculty that would lead us on a wild growth journey, to say the least. Little did we know just how impactful each one of them would be. Over the course of the last 2 years, our cohort had Dr. D every single semester for 4 classes, so you could say we spent a lot of time together. No matter what we had going on in our lives, she was the same warm person. Consistently, we could lean on someone who is knowledgeable, caring, compassionate, reliable, calm, and especially humble. Dr. Dean relies on her experiences and skills that she also taught us to be an outstanding faculty member that any program would be lucky to have, even if they are prepared. Some quotes that I would like to share. Luck does not favor me because I'm not. Okay, so there are some quotes that I felt would be nice to share from some alumni. As much as we are one cohort who had a bunch of amazing experiences with Dr. Dean, she's been doing this for over a decade, and there are a lot of people who have been greatly impacted by not only the things that she has taught, but who she is, us included. But I felt it only right to reach out to people in the past who are willing to share a few words. So I'm going to share those now. Dr. Dean made such an impact on my life. As a doctoral student who struggled with being the oldest in her cohort, being a first-generation student and working through COVID-19, Dr. Dean was amazing. She listened, advised, supported, encouraged, and provided me with much-needed structure. Thank you for everything. I would not have made it without you. My cohort loved her and always felt so comforted by her calm nature and presence. She was my advisor, and she was such a caring, compassionate mentor and professor. Additionally, I have fond memories of dogs through the whole puppy next. Her light is a warm, guiding force that brings people through hard moments and propels them further into the joy of the good ones. From all those who have been fortunate enough to feel the warmth of your light, thank you. You've made us feel seen, celebrated, and loved, and will never forget. Dr. Dean's passion for her students was evident from the first moment we met her. The thing I remember most is her deep care for us, whether that was intentionally leading us through challenging conversations with tactics I still use today, or celebrating her wins holy. Dr. Dean was and is a CSAA icon. Her English teacher energy was something I found comforting and exciting. I also personally love that she's one of the few people who pronounce the Asian Y in the She encouraged our love and appreciation for assessment and writing learning outcomes. When I supervised or interact with grad students and new professionals who didn't learn from her, so not CSAA alums, I'm grateful for the foundation she provided us in this area and a sound care practitioner is with me. I, of course, pay it forward to help folks learn these skills. And last quote I'd like to share. I had a personal appreciation for her fashion sense and still picture her in a fabulous, colorful shirt jacket featuring outlines of a town and people. This may seem like an odd detail, but it truly embodies the positive demeanor I look forward to when meeting with Dr. Dean, both as a student and alumni. If those quotes don't give you a glimpse into how much Dr. Dean means to us, then truthfully, I'm not really sure what will. About a month ago, Dr. Dean mentioned in her last lecture that T.S. Eliot called April the coolest month, even though he probably was not thinking higher education. April may be grueling, but it is followed by May, which is full of celebration. So today, as we celebrate the graduation of our cohort, we also equally celebrate Dr. Dean's official retirement. On behalf of our cohort and other program alumni alike, we are eternally grateful to not only have met you, but to have learned so much from you. Although this chapter may be closing, your impacts will last forever. As we take our next steps, our cohort will remember what your friend Harry said. So when you're sitting at home, wondering what comes next, then I ask you too to remember what Harry said, because we all certainly will. Just do the next thing. Thank you.
When we get to the hooding portion, which will be here soon, one of the things that we will do is that we will bestow upon our graduates not only their hoods, but also the awards. Because we count on the giving among the commitment, we will also like to thank you, Dr. Dean, for sowing this. May they bloom and grow, bloom and grow, bloom and grow. Each year, the cohort selects 3 students to represent them at the end of year celebration. On April 10th, in a celebration for the Masters in Doctoral Program, we had the pleasure of hearing from Tiana Knight to speak on behalf of the group, and from M.K. Miller to be recognized as the Theodore K. Miller Outstanding Master Student Award. Please help me join me in recognizing them now. As a part of this evening, another student was selected by his classmates to speak to tonight's wider audience. The cohort elected Nathan Beckham as tonight's speaker, and it is my pleasure to welcome him to the lectern now. Nathan. Don't worry, I have my keyboard list and number. Hi everybody. So before I jump into the formal greeting and go about it, I want to take the time to warn you that I speak super quickly. I use some slang, both gay and country, so try to keep up. So really love to cut up. This is not going to be serious, and it's not going to be like other speeches that you've heard at graduations or like that's not me. So I plan on
something memorable, and maybe you'll take something from it. If not, don't tell me. All of that being said, good afternoon to the family and friends here. Welcome and hello again to the GA and faculty that have joined us. And a special hey there is in order for all the people in the front. Okay, that's enough of that. We did it. Yay! I am so proud, and to say this journey was easy would be a long shot, and it was rough, to say the least. We've all thought about quitting at some point, even some of us now, even who have some doubts. So, I am not here to bore you with the misery loves company story. To act as if I am some profound philosopher here to impart wisdom and age-old knowledge on what to do in the next steps of our life. I'm something of a silly goose, and tend to make jokes, and I like to drop these jokes to make people giggle, especially when times are tough or tension is evident. So I hope that this will give you more authentically me, giving you humor as well as maybe giving you a story. Some of the lessons that I've learned here were taught in classes, sure, but others were hard-earned truths of life that I saw through hardships and challenge, much like the rest of us. Above all of these, I've learned more from interactions with students, time with all of you, and also from the listening ears that have been a support system to me. I'll try to keep it brief, but I hope that something of value is shared when you take something. First, I learned from the students. When meeting with students, as we so often do, we're asked various questions that we feel way too underqualified to answer. The imposter syndrome does take hold and takes a toll on all of us, regardless of the time or experiences that we've had. As we've heard from our faculty, it never gets easier. But in classic fashion, I was approached by an RA in a routine one-on-one meeting with something that seemed completely too big for me to handle. The RA following a string, the RA was following a string of tragedies around campus and asked me a question that seemed to be dark, but came from a place of uncertainty. Why do we persist? Now this sounds like, not like you guys, it's just her program, like she's gonna get her degree, she's graduating. But she asked me this and I didn't know what to think. So I am no Aristotle, Plato, or Socrates, nor am I going to act as if I am wise enough to tackle something of this magnitude that has stumped the smartest people to ever grace this planet. But before I started to answer, my first thought came to mind and said, who put me in charge, first of all? That was really silly, I don't know why. But as I thought through it more and more, I was ready to pose an opposing question, because what's more helpful than answering a question with a question? Dr. Young. The question that I asked back was, why not? The response was simple, not very profound, and I never claimed to be anything other than simple, but it was really quite simple in that. The message was important. The path less traveled, however cliche as this may sound, can have the prettiest flowers and the most welcoming of strangers. The path may be filled with bumps, thorns, and a kind of mess that wasn't expected, but nevertheless the path must be traveled. Progress has to be made. And sometimes that progress will be in a direction that is not the way that we wished or what we set out. But if we don't progress, we'll remain completely stagnant. Don't let fear of the uncertainty of the future inhibit you from going to the next adventure. The RA was super receptive and really great at my job, and really liked the response. I didn't attempt to rationalize what had happened on campus, didn't downplay or diminish their feelings. I instead I wanted to let them know that this time was difficult, but often which is difficult is the most worth doing. Being close in age with my students is a blessing and a curse at most times, but I'm thankful for the lessons that they have taught me and they continue to give to me. The next lesson I've learned is from my coworker that I've spent the last 2 years with. Sometimes it feels like blink of an eye, sometimes it feels like 10 decades. Although I could go down the line and sweat every individual on these front 3 rows taught me, such as how Tiana taught me how to read a girl down with the right conviction and proper tone. Grace taught me how to give just that and give second chances and grace to those who are most in need of it. Or Joey on how to stick to your opinion even when it is not the popular. But that would take a really long time, and as much as I love all of it, should bring them on. I gained so much from these individuals down front, and I can't thank them enough. But the best lesson is to never be too proud to learn from any source. The background and knowledge that we bring with us before and during this program has been so insightful on how we will carry out student interactions in our coming careers. We all had niches, specific tasks that led us here. We all had various different reasons for starting. I got the opportunity to learn in class from all of these friends, but not just from the teachers, but in every single discussion, every piece of history, background, stories, and perspective of all the people that we had in class in the last 2 weeks. Even when the times were rough, and we were not getting along, and we had yet another group project, we still found ways to learn and grow from each other. This field is very different from office to office, department to department, and institution to institution. And although I had a cohort style in undergrad, I never knew how critical it would be to understanding this field that we're launching into very soon. Even when communication was rocky, when there was an emerging issue, or when there was tension, we grew together. Next page. Selfishly, I gained so much from this. I've learned and expanded my horizons far beyond what I originally could have even planned. I have been given time, energy, wisdom, and expertise far beyond what I can even hope to give back. But I do hope that they feel the same, even if it's only just for a good. The last of the things that I've taken from my time here at Georgia and wish to impart on you comes from someone outside of the UGA system. I was here in Athens, but much like the rest of us, my family was in another city. While my family was right over the state line of South Carolina, and I have no competition when it comes to Connecticut. The distance from our support systems really did challenge us most, especially in that first semester. We had to re-establish some of those lines of support here, and luckily we found them in each other and even outside of them. But nothing could replace where we came from. My grandma, there she is, she's gonna cry, don't look at her too much. That's Nanny. Is someone who's always been a best friend to me. And even though I don't call her as often as I should, and when we do talk, I couldn't ask for a better truth. She's helped to shape me into the person that I am today. I grew up learning manners from our tea party set that we used to have. How to have a little too much fun on the road blasting music, and how to walk a runway from her. And yes, we spent way too much time watching America's Next Top Model and Project Runway, so you can blame her for me. My name is someone who is very sensitive and has always taught me that who I am is perfect. No one is capable of replicating the person that I am, but I just encourage you to try and find someone. We all have differences that bolster us in ways that are immeasurable. We can only see what is our current and ever present in our purview. We focus so deep on our newest failure or what is going wrong, so much so that we don't see our own faces. We often rely on our support systems, like my nanny, to do just that for us. I challenge each of you to think of this time and all that you've done. Know that someone has been cheering you on and keeping you accountable. We're quick to judge ourselves and accomplishments in the dark, but each of us is capable and has done so much. We've pushed our limits and have reaped great rewards from the endeavors that we pursued. So, in closing, I didn't worry, you're still with me. In closing, and to remain authentic, I'll read some things from my quote. I'm known for a couple things. This color yellow, it's Suntastic 380, Sally Hansen. I wear it every single day. Smelling nice from all the fragrances that I spend too much money on. And keeping a list of the best and out of context quotes from the past 2 years. I will speak in almost exclusive pop culture lingo and phrases, but some of these come from our most memorable times and some of the times that I'll take with me into the next venture. Out of protection for those listed in the book, I will not be speaking names. So the first one. I've never had a normal experience in a Texas Roadhouse bathroom. I see your aura as a comfort. Well, I see you as a dark urine yellow. I'm going to save one of these new chickens for the shower. Is that breast milk? No. And lastly, the quote that explains how I feel for all of you. From the mouths of the people who love me, my mom, my nanny, my Aunt Joni, and basically every other Southern woman who has ever loved me, and I sing it to you now. I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hooker in the neck. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mason. And with that, we will start the fitting ceremony. Throughout this portion of the time, each graduate's name will be called, and they will cross the stage, coming that way, across the stage, and be hooded and courted by Dr. Dean and myself. Afterwards, they will proceed down the center stairwell, where family and friends may briefly capture a photo. Family and friends, I do want you to know that as your graduate's name is being called, if you want to position yourself to grab a photo, you can, but also please be mindful that this area may get a little congested, so please extend grace and have good attendance. All right, so thank you for your cooperation. Graduates, if you will please rise and make your way to the left-hand side of the stage. Woo! Everyone's in place, and we'll begin. Mason Beckham. Leah Cannon. Erica Crum. Brianna Cross. Jessica Green. Kiana Knight. Abigail Cloud Langdon. Grace Little. Mary Catherine Miller. Savannah Moore. Kayla Page. Sawyer Wiley. Evelina Chauvinist. Princess Tigatella. But certainly not least, Kelsey Wolford. Let's get one more round of applause. So we find ourselves at the end of our putting ceremony, but certainly not at the end of our celebration. As we conclude the ceremony, I would like to thank all of the family members, friends, supervisors, colleagues, and other important people who joined us here today. Let's have a round of applause for the support. Congratulations, class of 2024. It has truly been an honor and a pleasure. As you exit the chapel, please know that there may be quite a bit of traffic going around to the chapel bell and also just from everyone moving forward. One of the things I will ask you to do is to keep moving till you get to the end of the stairs, just so that we make sure that it's accessible for everyone to get out of the buildings there. But I want to thank you for coming and being with us to be a part of the celebratory moment, to celebrate the great accomplishments of this very talented group. We wish you safe travels, and we just want to say another congratulations to the class of 2024.